What's up, everybody? My name is Josh, and today we're going to talk about what it's like to be bitten by a venomous snake. Specifically, this venomous snake.
Do not attempt anything you see in this video. These animals are extremely dangerous, and one mistake can leave you seriously injured or killed.
My blue insularis, this is a Komodo Island pit viper, and this guy bit me last week. This snake is venomous. So yeah, he's a beautiful snake. He has some stuck shed on him, and that's what I was trying to help him with when he bit me. So I'm going to put him back in his enclosure, and we will go over exactly what happened with the bite. Okay, so I came in to do my rounds. I do a round every night before bed, check on all my snakes, make sure everybody's good to go. I noticed he had some stuck shed on the back of his neck. I took him out of his enclosure with my hook, and I donned this glove right here on this hand, and I was holding him with this hand, and I was peeling the stuck shed off with the tweezers with this hand, and right there is where he got me. Now we're a little bit over a week after the bite. These gloves are really good, and they're not bite proof. They are bite resistant, so I would not trust these gloves with a large pit viper that had massive fangs, but for holding a blue insularis of that size, they're perfectly fine. The problem is they're so thick, it's hard to tell how much pressure I'm putting on the snake, and I don't want to hurt the animal, because if I hurt the animal, then he is going to bite me. So he wiggled loose, and he got one fang in my index finger on my left hand. Immediately, I knew I'd been bitten, obviously, because it happened so fast, there's no way I could have possibly gotten away from him. But it was painful. I felt like a bee sting at first. But it was definitely more stabby, if that makes sense, than a bee sting. So yeah, I knew I'd been bit. And I will preface this by saying these snakes are very dangerous, and even though he's not a deadly snake, a bite from him does pack a powerful punch. And the reason for this video is purely educational, because when I first started getting into the venomous snake world, it was really hard for me to find first-hand accounts of what it was like to be bitten by some of these snakes. So, just in the interest of transparency, if I ever do become envenomated by any of my snakes and survive, I will make a video. I will document the whole thing. Now, I don't want to be envenomated, but if I am bitten, I will document it for the public to see what it's like to be bitten by one of these snakes. It's purely educational, and this is something that people need to know. Especially if you are interested in getting into venomous snakes, or if you own venomous snakes and you've never been bitten. I would venture a guess that a lot of people who own venomous and who work with venomous have been bitten, if not once, multiple times. My puff adder's in the background, just like agreeing with everything I say here. Puffing away. So initially it felt like I had been stung by a bee. That's the best way I can describe it. He only got one fang in me, so there wasn't a whole lot of venom. I didn't get venom from both glands, just one. And then I grabbed my snake bite protocols. These are put together by the Florida Snake Bite Institute. Joe Pittman, look them up on Facebook. Buy your protocols from this man. Buy them. They are invaluable, because I guarantee you no ER anywhere knows how to treat a white-lipped pit viper, or a puff adder bite, or a green mamba bite, or a monocle cobra bite, or a gaboon viper bite. None of these hospitals have the experience needed to treat these bites. So I got my bite protocols. I headed down to the ER, and when I walked in, the intake, I know her personally, I won't mention any names here, but the intake, it was funny. They all know me down at the ER. My sister works there. She's a registered nurse. She's a ER nurse, so they are very aware of the animals that I own and what could potentially happen. So the person who does the intake at the ER saw my bite protocol and said, "Oh no, you have the book." I said, "Yes, I have the book." So she asked me which one bit me. I told her it was the white-lipped pit viper, the blue pit viper. And of course they're like, what? White pit viper? Because, rural hospital in Western North Carolina has never treated, well, until that point, has never treated a white-lipped pit viper bite. So they get me back. They elevate my hand, and we mark it to track swelling. The doc comes in, asks me some questions. Are we sure it was an envenomation? They examine the finger. By this point, my finger is starting to swell and throb. So I would say now it's been. I live 5 minutes from the hospital. So it's been less than 20 minutes since my snake bite. My finger is starting to throb. It's swelling. I can already feel the swelling taking place. It is not a pleasant experience. It hurts. At that time, the pain was about a 7. Yeah, about a 7. So I give them my snake bite protocols. They look through. The staff looks through. The doctor looks through. They start reading up on what to do. And we just kind of watch things for a minute to see what's going to happen with my finger. We draw labs, everything looked good, and we just watched the finger for a while to see what was going to happen. I was given pain medicine to keep me from hurting as much as possible, which honestly the pain medicine didn't really help. It made me not care that I was bitten, and it made me not really care that I was hurting, rather. But it did not do much to stop the pain, that's for sure. It really didn't. So as the night went on, the swelling became much worse, the pain became much worse, and within an hour of being bitten, it felt like someone had taken a hammer and smashed my finger with it. That's exactly what it felt like. My hand was starting to swell, as well as my finger. The swelling was traveling down into the palm of my hand, into the back of my hand. So we reach a crossroads in the treatment. We're like, okay, here's where we're at. The bite doesn't seem to be severe. It's a minor envenomation. The swelling seems to have at least stopped or slowed down. Do you want to have antivenom, or do you not want to have any antivenom? Because if we do antivenom, you're going to have to be transferred to a trauma hospital, a trauma center. You're going to have to consult with trauma. You're going to have to consult with a toxicologist. And we're looking at turning an overnight stay in the ER into a 3-day stay in a hospital. At that point, the doctor and I both agreed that the bite didn't seem severe enough to go that far with treatment. My labs still looked good. My vitals all still looked good. The only effects I was having from the bite were localized. They were pain and swelling inside that finger and into my hand. So we decided to go ahead and call it a night. So at that point, they discharged me, sent me home with a prescription for pain medicine, which I picked up the next day. And I pretty much just took it easy for about a week. But it did heal, and it's about, right now, I would say 95% back to normal. I have completely normal range of motion in this hand. It's only the slightest bit sore to the touch when I touch where the actual snake bit me. There's only one little bruise there. At this point, it more or less looks like a blood blister. So, all in all, it wasn't that bad. It certainly did ruin my week. I know I say that a lot about these snake bites, and this one will certainly ruin your week. And the one thing about these snake bites, the least fun part about it, is the fact that when your finger is sore like that and it's swollen and you can't bend it and you're trying to do your normal day-to-day tasks, you find very quickly that you bang your finger over everything. And now I'm back to normal. So that's really it. Here is some photos of what it looked like about 4 days after the bite. The redness and swelling started to go down, starting to look a little bit better, but there is still some discoloration along the inside of my finger, some bruising and some paleness too. And then here we have 1 week out from the bite. It's almost completely back to normal. You can see that it's fairly well healed up at this point. And today is a week and 1 day from the bite, and it's completely fine. So This has been my experience with a venomous snake bite. The hospital, the team down here in the ER did amazing. They did an impeccable job of making sure that I was well taken care of. And again, I want to thank everybody who was involved in the treatment of the bite, from the ER staff all the way to the people who consulted with me online and the people who messaged me to check and see if I was okay. There's certainly a lot of literature that you can read detailing these bites from a clinical presentation point of view, but none from a patient's point of view that I can find, at least very few. I know, some of your bigger YouTubers have been envenomated, like Tyler Nolan, and more recently Chandler from Chandler's Wildlife. They took significant envenomations from big elapids, a king cobra and an Indian cobra respectively. So this is nothing compared to those bites. They certainly did shed a lot of light onto what it's like to be bitten by those two snakes specifically, so I wanted to do the same with the blue insularis, the white-lipped pit viper. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 0. Don't recommend it. It hurt like hell. Accidents are going to happen. It doesn't matter how good you are, how long you've been doing this. Accidents happen. I see people every day who have been working with venomous snakes for decades make stupid mistakes and become bitten, or worse, people die from some of these snake bites. A lot of people don't like the hex armor gloves. I think they're very, very very useful tools. I know plenty of people who have been bitten using snake hooks. I know plenty of people who have been bitten using tongs, gloves. I know specifically this year there was a cottonmouth envenomation through those hex armor gloves. So don't rely on one single piece of protective gear. Wear all your gear, use all your gear, and be safe. That's the thing. These snakes are incredible. These guys are beautiful. I love these snakes, and I absolutely respect their power and their venom. What they are capable of is some major tissue damage or death. And again, a special thank you to everybody at the National Snakebite support group, the moderators, the toxicologists there who run that group. They are a wealth of information, and they are invaluable to anyone who's bitten by any snake. Until next time, please like, share, and subscribe. Check out our merch shop, wncvenomstore.com, and peace out.